Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do part 2 of Resto. So this is footage from the same day as the previous video, but this time round I'm going to add a little bit of commentary to some of the matches, and then we'll just also have some matches with just a bit of good old music going in the background. The reason for this is just, split it up a bit of diversity, a bit of variety, so it's not just, mindlessly playing. What I will say is I wouldn't consider this to be guide commentary. I'm not 100% confident with my Resto play yet. I'm still, learning and improving with it, as opposed to something like Resto Shaman, which I'm, a bit more comfortable playing and making guides for. So what you'll find generally actually with my analysis and commentary today is it's going to be predominantly critical of some of the mistakes I make, and what you'll see is the mistakes I tend to make are fairly sort of common, as in I'll do the same mistake from match to match, and that's generally what you'll find when you're when you start to analyze your games, is you'll generally make the same mistakes over and over, and as a result those are the things that you really want to focus on and identify. I've said it before in a previous video, but I'll mention it again in case you guys have missed that one. When you're being critical of your own performances, or when you want to improve and you want to analyze your own footage, which I strongly recommend everybody does do, you want to focus on maybe 2 or 3 things that you can actually really focus and improve on. You might make 5 or 6 individual tiny little mistakes in a match, and if you end up fixating on all of those things, it becomes incredibly hard to actually improve on anywhere, because you're trying to juggle too many things. So so I generally say focus on 2, 3 things that are fairly common that you might be making across multiple matches. Focus on those 3 things, and then you can improve gradually without trying to juggle too many things at once. So that all said, let's get into the footage. If you have any questions, as always, down in the comment section is the place to go. Alternatively, there is a link to my Discord down there, or you can just hit me up on Twitch when I go live there. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to give me a subscribe, or give me a follow on Twitch, or whatever you choose. I hope you enjoy the footage, and let's crack on. So here in this first match, we're going to be playing against a SLSL Lock and Disc Priest, so a tricky matchup for sure. There's a lot of magic buffs going on, and also a lot of fear, so without a shadow of a doubt, the big factor is going to be trying to control these fears and use Tremor Totem. Obviously, as you can see, I have the Warlock focused already, and I'm going to be doing shocks. You can also, if notice there quickly, I grounded his spell lock. You want to try and obviously avoid getting spell locked as much as possible. I know that sounds a bit obvious, but there's different ways of doing it. I grounded that one in that case, but later on you'll see me just fake casting in general. The big problem here, apart from the fear from our side, is obviously Curse of Tongues. Fortunately, the lock is a little bit sloppy and doesn't keep it on me 24/7, but when it is on, it does make a massive difference. So at this point here, I'm just sort of trying to keep up and keep my Paladin up. I do a War Stomp here, not to stun both the lock and the pet, so I can get a free cast off without having to fake cast, and then after that I'm actually going to begin starting to fake cast, and I actually get the spell lock off here. However, he then Feldoms the second one. I don't react quite quick enough, and I do get spell locked. Fortunately, however, my Paladin does have bubbles, so there's not too much craziness going on. But this whole time that I'm running after him, I'm replacing my totems. Here you can see me dropping my Tremor in a janky little position. Has got a pet macro pretty much, so he's been totem stomping pretty aggressively the whole game. But I'm just attempting to place totems in unusual spots so they don't get instantly destroyed. And during this time, if I can get purges off, I do. But fundamentally, at this point, I'm just trying to keep him alive. Another little fake cast from me, which gets the spell lock and keeps him alive. Unfortunately, the priest does die during that time. So going into this third game, this is a match where I actually make quite a few mistakes, so we will discuss them as they come in along. But as you can see, the other thing is that I've just done a quick drink bug. So from again, my point of view, this match is about trying to enable my Paladin to have as much uptime as possible, manage my totems, and manage my mana. One thing that I probably should be doing more than I do is should be frost shocking the rogue maybe, and just keeping him slowed for my ret to do as much damage as possible. But it's all about the mana for me in this matchup. So it will be a case of trying to get the heals off, keep myself safe, don't get CC'd, and enable my Speank to do as much damage as possible. One thing you will notice about the guys that we're against, and this is something that you'll notice as you play against better and better opponents, is they just become more and more diligent when it comes to totem stomping. I do have quite long periods, unfortunately, when my totems do drop, but that's just because they're being so aggressive. So a little bit of grounding there onto the first Cyclone, but he then War Stomp Cyclones me. But Speank has got Bubble, I've got NS, so it's we're not too worried at this point. But again, they've already killed all my totems. I'm just going to place the Wind Fury down to keep that up, and again, just try and keep the uptime onto that rogue. Unfortunately, he gets a resist there on the Earthbind, but again, you can already see totems just getting all destroyed by the Druid. Kick onto me. I get kicked relatively often in this matchup just because the rogue is being very diligent, but also because of the way the matchup's working, I'm healing very early on, so I don't need to fake cast too much or as much as I might normally, just because I'm healing when he's at a very high percentage. Though that time I do get the fake off despite the shadow step kick, just becoming, as the match goes on, you become more and more confident and comfortable dealing with the guy that's trying to kick you. Jump back again, we just missed it unfortunately, but I did place a Mana Tide. This is why I think Mana Tide is generally quite crap. It probably lasted for about 2 seconds. The most I could do was protect it with a grounding, which is what I did. So the grounding takes, the very first Moonfire goes onto the grounding, and then they kill the Mana Tide afterwards. And then the next thing he tried to do again was actually hibernate me while I was in Ghost Wolf. You need to be aware that that's a possibility, so I put Tremor and just shifted myself. But this is a sort of a pressured situation here with the Druid. Druid at that point is probably looking for a bash onto me. That's why he's running around in bear form, so I'm just going to kite him and again try and keep my my Paladin up as much as possible. And I'm going to get a sneaky little drink off here. I should have more totems up. I'm now replacing them, but for a while their totems were down. But as I said, throughout this entire match, they are very good at destroying and stomping all of my totems. So got some pressure onto the Druid, nice little pressure war stomp from me, but unfortunately he got the hots up, and no more strike from the Ret Paladin means that it doesn't take much for him to heal himself back up. The thing I need to be careful of here is not to get sapped, but yeah, combat from the Druid while I was drinking, and again we just go back to getting some heals. I faked there because I thought he might try and kick me. He does for the second time round, but he's a tiny little bit slow. But again, totems down. This is sort of the nature of playing against good players. You are going to spend an awful lot of time placing your totems, and I'm just trying to keep my Paladin healthy while we look for any pressure we can get. At this point I just need to be careful not to get sapped, so I'm going to swap into Ghost Wolf after I've got a tiny little bit of drink. I was in combat, which is why I didn't get sapped straight away, but yeah, just Ghost Wolf was the safest play. So at this point, really nice bit of play here from Speank. To be expected. He's fantastic. Ret is, he's got the eye, he's drinking out of line of sight, and getting a little bit of mana. And at this point, we're going to sort of try and go for the kill, I think, pretty soon, with Speank's cooldowns coming back up soonish. So again, totems all the way down, they're getting stomped pretty much instantaneously again, but just again, drinks all around. Speank's got a decent bit of mana back though, so he can now maybe look for the kill. Bop onto me to remove the blind. I could have trinketed, but I decided not to. Greedy play here from the Druid, which is very dangerous from him to go for a big kill. I don't think it was necessary. He could have just gone for some hots, but I think he was actually going to go for trying to drink bug at that point in time. But yep, so again, turtles down, fake the kick, so I can now get a nice big heal off after. Yeah, we get the fake from the kick, and then we're going to get some pressure and damage onto the rogue now. He hasn't got Cloak of Shadows, I know this at this point, so as soon as Cheat Death is off, I'm going to, I think I burn NS. Yep, go burn NS, Cheat Death was down, and he couldn't cloak, and we get the kill now that Speank's cooldowns are up. So this is going to be the last one I'll do some commentary for, against Rogue Mage, which is a relatively favourable matchup for the Paladin Shaman. It's certainly much more favourable than it is if we're against Warrior Paladin, Warrior Shaman, but the dispels are really nice. I had actually trinketed the poly, so when they blind me we then go for the bop, which is really nice, and I can then during that time, because he had already used counterspell to get the polymorph off on me, I'm then just free to free cast, and equally because I had the bop as well, I was immune to the shadow step kick. So these guys aren't the best rogue mage in the world, so we just get some nice pressure. I'm trying to keep my totems up as much as possible, and yeah, we just get the mage down quite handily. So I hope you've enjoyed the commentary. If you have any questions, as always, down in the comment section is the place to go. I'm going to leave you now with some more footage and some tunes to listen to. I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.